All right, guys, I have some explaining to do. It's been a while since I've posted a video, and I'm sorry. It was not my intent to go quite this long. I do have a video or two that I still need to edit together. One is of the camp kitchen, and most of that project is done. I just have one last thing to do, which of course is always the thing you procrastinate. And so I just have the cabinet doors to do. And once that's done, that project will be done. So I'll have that video out. I did also get a bunch of wood, and so I'll show you that video eventually too. But here's the thing. I got a new job. Everybody, I think, knows I'm not a full-time YouTuber. And so I do actually have a job outside of this, and started a new job in February. And so it's just a lot of energy and focus has gone to that. And it's not to say that I haven't been up here doing work, although I will admit this last year has been a lot less work than I hoped, in part because I just needed to come up here and relax. But it's coming along. So I think I've decided I'm going to change formats, and go away from the project videos, and go toward sort of like weekend videos, so that you'll see the incremental progress on multiple projects. Because what's happening is I've got like 4, 5, 6 different projects going on at any given time, and they don't go quickly because I have multiple projects. And so it takes a really long time to get video out. So right now, let me just give you an update in terms of what has happened that you haven't seen. So I think I told you about the camp kitchen, also the wood pile, and then I've got, have I really done? I think that must be really it. That's like literally all I've really done. I did clear the shower spot. I think you guys saw, hopefully, and I've shown that video. But there's a spot where I'm putting an outdoor shower, and so I don't know if you can see the wood behind me here. This is all been polyed. I polyed it last weekend, and unfortunately it was too cold and moist, so I had to bring it in here to dry, because after 8 hours it hadn't dried. So we didn't even think about a second coat. But I'm gonna get another coat of poly on all of those guys. I'm gonna get the post sunk, the 2 posts in the ground, because the holes are dug and ready to go. I don't think the cement I have is good anymore. I think it was so wet in here that the cement, even though we're indoors, has seized up. So this weekend, one of the things I'll be doing, actually, that's a good lead in, I'm going to be putting a fly over the tent, because I don't know if you can see the patch job right above me. That is because it was so wet this year that the tent never actually dried out, and so it got that wet rot. And so the really only solution is to keep the tent a lot drier than it is and prevent it from getting rained on, because it's probably, going to rain like this in the future. So that's one of the projects this weekend. Another is I've got some maintenance to do, the stove pipe, just to clean it out, get the creosote out. I'm gonna add a section, a 2-foot section, and that'll lift it a little higher so I get a little bit better draft. It'll also allow me to put the damper sort of on the end of the pipe, because I stupidly put it in the middle of a 4-foot pipe. And so every time I have problems with the damper and I have to reach up there, I get to be a complete mess. So that was not good planning on my part, and I'm going to fix that. I do also have gasket repair, because the gasket on the door has started to pull off, and I might be able to salvage the current gasket with the glue, but I did get an extra gasket just in case. So it'd be really nice to be able to end this weekend with the shower enclosure done. I won't have the door for it. I won't have the curtain separator for the changing room. I do have the hot water heater. Didn't think that was going to come quickly, because, everybody says supply chain. But it actually came in just a few days. So I brought that down with me, and I got the Jolka too. I am not affiliated with them or anything. I just spent a lot of time looking at the camping, hot outdoor sort of on-demand water systems, and was excited about this one because it may pull from the brook. directly. It's I'll be maxing it out because I think they say 9 feet head or upward pull, and I'm probably every bit of that. I'm probably closer to 12. So we'll see if that works. If not, I'll rig up a water tank that you'll just have to fetch 5 gallons for. 5 gallons will get you 5 minutes, and you're probably not going to spend a whole lot more than that in an outdoor shower. But I'm really excited. I think it's coming up. And then the next project that's not happening this weekend actually won't be back up here for a month, but that project will be the shed footings and getting the shed built up at high ground closer to where the outhouse is. I will try to remember to take you guys up there and just get a shot of that space. It's definitely not cleared appropriately, but we took the trees down, so at least I can get in there. I got to do something probably with the chainsaw with the little stumps because they're too tall. They're probably taller than the cinder blocks will be, because I'm going to do the same type of footings as I've done throughout the property so far, which is just deep holes with stone, crushed stone, and then a cinder block, and then the skids. You do have to maintain it a little bit more. I'm already starting to lose my level here in the tent, so I'll have to jack up the front left at some point and just bring the cinder block up, I think about 3/4 of an inch, not too much. But it is designed for the regular maintenance as the ground sort of grows and shifts. I went for this because it's a little bit easier to deal with over the longer term, to just maintain it and adjust it as over the years, versus trying to sink posts, which need to go pretty deep because the frost line is pretty deep up here in Maine. But also because we're basically in a riverbed. So trying to dig around here is really difficult because the rocks are just gigantic. And I'll splice here a photo of a rock that was in one of the holes for the posts for the shower. So you can see, I mean, how in the world am I getting that thing out? I just don't even know. It took about an hour and a half to figure it out, and I'll tell you guys that story another day. But sorry, I've been sort of off the video circuit, but I'll try to get better about that. And I think with weekend videos, it'll just be easier. There'll be shorter videos, and I'll be able to crank them out and make sure there's no major delays. So I'll take you guys along with me this weekend. It's Friday night right now. I'll be working all day tomorrow, and I'm sure most of the day on Sunday. But have a great night. I'm going to cook some dinner. Morning. It's chilly morning. It's right around 40. Now it's up to 52, so not too bad. Good morning so far. I had to run to the hardware store, get a couple of bolts, some sandpaper. I did get more cement because mine was pretty seized up. I can probably still use it, and I probably will still use it, but I don't know how successful it will be. So I got some new stuff. I got the boards out of the tent. I didn't record that because it was not graceful. I gotta get the pine needles off because pine needles fell on it while it was drying. And then I'll do a quick sanding with a 60 grit just so the next coat of poly sticks to it. And then I'll do a coat of poly. And then I don't know if you can see behind me, but I've got some staging where I'll set the boards to dry. The poly usually dries in 3 to 4 hours, but in this case, because it's so damp down here and the temperature's a lot cooler, it's not going to dry that quickly. So I'm hoping it dries overnight, and that way tomorrow morning, in theory, today I'll be able to get the nailers up and the posts, so I'll be able to cut the wood and pop it up, possibly even get the third and final coat of poly on it, although that's being really aggressive. So all in all, this will take about an hour and a half. It's about noon right now, so the second coat will take me to about 1:30, and then we'll try to get the post settled. That's probably another hour or two, maybe, probably 2. So we're talking 3:30, and then if we can get the nailers secured, I think we'll be in a good spot. So I'll throw this in fast mode because I don't expect this will be that fun to watch. Certainly not for an hour and a half, but I'll swing back around and we'll catch you guys after we got the second coat of poly on. Took a little longer than I'd hoped, because I did forget about the 2x4s. Plus the wall took a little longer too because of the sanding. So about 2 hours 15 minutes for the second coat. They're looking shiny and nice. Nowhere near as many pine needles falling today, which is a good thing. It'll make them look nicer. I won't have to scrub them down. So now I realized I'm not going to be able to set the nailers up today because obviously they're drying. All right, I'm going to try to set this post mostly level with those stones. I'm going to see how that goes. I mean, I do have, I think, some scrap wood that I can use as a stabilizer if I have to, but I'm thinking I can get it pretty darn close, and then once the cement goes in, or the other rocks, I can refine it. We'll see. But if I need the braces. But this is where I'm at right now. I'm gonna find a place for the camera here, but let you guys watch. All right, I think pretty well set up. I did read the instructions and said to put the concrete in the bottom, not the top. So, you know, we're out in the woods. It's all good. It's all good in the woods. So I'm pretty much, I think this will be a little bit less than one bag, and this will probably be a little bit more than one bag, just because the hole had to be bigger, just because of the giganto stone that was in it, that I showed you. I think it's that one. Yeah. So I'm gonna go kind of take a beer break because I've been working a while, and concrete is probably my least favorite thing to work with. So I feel like I need a beer. This is, I guess I should show you another project I'm working on right now. I was doing this when I was on the phone with my mom, so couldn't really film it. But this is the stovepipe. So I just sanded it down and then cleaned it. And then I'm going to do the same with the top of the stove. And then I got high temp Rust-Oleum just to protect it a little bit better. This year I'm going to try to figure out a way to keep the water from running down and into the stove. I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure they have to have something like a little rain hat or rain gasket. I don't know. So I'm going to have to just do some searching. But that's another project I'm working on right now. And immediately, this is the project I'm going to be working on. So I'll be back in like 30 minutes, guys. Forgot to show you my new stairs. I did this last weekend with my friend Courtney. I was sick and tired of, I don't know if you ever really noticed, but it was this ridiculous thing that I built one step, and it doesn't even have all the wood it needs. I ran out of scraps, so it was really dangerous. It was supposed to be a ramp, but it collapsed the first time I used it. So I was just using it as a step for like almost 2 years. And look at these beautiful steps. I put these paver stones because it definitely, I should have gotten, you know, another step is what I should have done. But when I measured it, I was measuring it from up there, not really thinking how far down this goes. You can kind of see the slope from this side. So it drops down really quickly. So I would have been fine with another step, but that's okay. I kind of like how it looks. It's fun. That's the Jolka 2, the hot tap. So that'll be my shower. Of course, that's my nature cooled beer. It's probably 55. That's close enough to what you keep beer at. And then this is my new Rainfly. It is really, really thick, high durability, because I'm hoping not to have to do this every year. And I've learned the hard way that regular tarps like that one and that one, they break down really quickly in the sunlight. So this has UV protection built into it, and I think it's vinyl. And it'll have an overhang pretty close to where that tree is, so that you can get under the tent and this area is all dry. The same will exist on this side. I gotta fix the guy lines because they're not even. And I need it to be even so it rides down, but it'll do the same. I have to remove this one little tree here that's in the front. I don't know if you can see that. And then this side, I'm gonna lay like roof scraps, like the corrugated metal roof scraps, like a foot wide all the way down. And then I will stack wood. I'm gonna just kind of put some stakes on either end, and I'll stack wood here because that'll be completely covered. And it'll be a great place to kind of be able to get wood for the wood stove. So I got some of the work done last night on the wood stove. It turns out I didn't need a gasket. I don't really know what the heck was wrong with my thinking, but I thought the gasket was pulling off, and it wasn't at all. So I did replace the size increaser because it's a 4-inch coming out of the stove and a 5-inch pipe and a 5-inch hole in the tent. And the increaser pipe I had just deteriorated because of high heat. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and paint a little, because, you know, that's pretty much taking a break. That's not even, doesn't even count as work. Let's see how we're doing as far as drying. This was the very first board. Still very tacky, but like that section's not too bad. Hopefully overnight, I'm just worried it's going to be really cold overnight, like 35, so that could create condensation. This could be a whole thing, but I have optimism. Pipe looks good. Well, I think I'm going to call it for the day. I've gotten a lot done, but the sun is rapidly going down. It's already gone down over the hill, so it's getting darker and darker. It's 5 o'clock. Sun actually goes down, I think, at like 5:48, 6, something like that. But I'm going to let the wood dry overnight. We got both the posts sunk with concrete. I hate working with concrete, so I'm just super glad that's done. I've been dreading that for weeks. And we'll see how it sets tomorrow and go from there. Hopefully we can get the nailers up and then start cutting the walls and get that done too. And it'd be great. I'm so excited. The stovepipe hasn't dried quite yet, and I still haven't painted the stove. I might do a night without the wood stove. It's going to be 35, but my sleeping bag is usually good down to like 20-ish, so I should be fine. It'll be getting up that will make me cranky, but I'll deal with that. I also think this is probably supposed to dry for like 24 hours before you actually expose it to high heat, so we'll see. I'll read the instructions. But anyway, I'll see you in the morning. Morning. I'm just about to get started here. I had to run back out to the hardware store because with all the planning in terms of specifically what hardware to get, I accidentally bought half as much as what I needed. I needed 4 of everything, not 2 of everything. So today I had to go back and get 2 more. That's just a chain and 2 more chains and 2 more bolts. It is quite chilly. It's about 52, and last night it dropped down to about 30. So was bummed I didn't have the stove, but it looks great. I'll show that to you later. I'll throw it in fast mode. I'm going to pre-drill these guys, the nailers, and then we're going to take them over to the posts and hopefully get those mounted. It's a dreaded moment right now. I have 2 batteries. One I knew was on its way out as far as juice. That's the one on this one. And then I had what I thought was a full double battery. And this is an empty double battery. So there is some possibility there's 1 charged battery left in my car. I hope, because with no battery, I have no drill, I have no circular saw. So today's project would be coming to an end real quick. So I'm going to take a hike up there and we'll see how we do. Sorry guys, I did get the extra battery and it had juice, so I started working and then I forgot to record, so let me show you what I've done. So this is the nailer. And the problem I have is I have 2 static posts and 2 trees. The trees can move, so I needed this to be able to sort of move with the wind and the sway, so that it's secured basically to that side, and this side is the dynamic side. So I don't know if this is going to work in the long run, but I think it will. And so far I'm encouraged. So I definitely need to relink that differently, but I'll fix that in a bit. So I'm just on the second top nailer, and I'll tell you, these are taking longer. I think the rest are going to go up much faster because now I have like my rhythm. Figuring out the first anything is always difficult, so we'll see, but I'll throw it in fast motion for you guys. All right, I'm officially out of battery power, so walls are not going up today, which is a bummer. I'm gonna have to haul all of those boards back into the tent instead of cutting them up and nailing them up, but it is what it is. Gotta roll with the punches. So you can see each nailer on the tree side held up by this bolt and chain. Each chain can hold about 350 pounds, which, you know, it's not going to come anywhere near that. And then I had to make these bolts flush so that the siding, the walls that come down, will nicely fit on top. So you notice possibly that this front wall is a little bit shorter. That's on purpose too. So this is the door into the shower. It's obviously not built yet. Okay, and then there'll be a pipe that comes down across and into here. That'll have a shower curtain. So this area, this front area where I am, will be the changing room. There'll be a stool right there and some hooks high on the wall there. So you see how that hill is pretty high, right? So when we come into the shower, you see how this line, I forgot that I don't have the nailer for the side pieces, but I can probably get that done later today. I've got some scrap pressure treated. But I wanted this left side high enough so that even if someone's standing on the tree, they really, I mean on the hill, they can't see. But on this side, this was the view I wanted. Now the camera's at eye level, but I'm currently about 2.5 to 3 inches lower than I will be, because I think I've concluded that I'm going to do some more stone just to level it out, and then paver stones. And I think I'm going to even try cutting them to the correct angle, because it's not a square or a rectangle, it's more of a trapezoid, I guess. But that'll raise you a little bit, and well, I'm excited. Even if I couldn't get the walls up, which I will admit is definitely a huge bummer, I'm pretty amped about the progress I've made here, so I'm glad. We'll see what else I can get done today. It is already 1, so I can't stay too late because I do have chores and stuff to do when I get home. But it's going to be a little bit of cleaning up the wood and some of the other things. So I'll sign on as I'm getting finished. And if I end up tackling any other projects, I'll grab you. Okay, I reset the guy lines, or where the stakes are. They're loose right now, just because I'm going to be pulling the tarp over. Had to take that tree down. I really didn't want to take it down this way, but the tree did not want to go down any other way, and sometimes you just have to listen to the tree. So I took my tarp down. That didn't take it down. I took it down in prep so that I could get it down. Unfortunately, I just ran out of gas, so I guess I'll be doing the rest with loppers. But right now I'm going to get this new rainfly up. It's going to be tight because there's that tree, and on the back side there's a tree, and there's quite a bit of overhang. So the total roof distance is 14.5 feet, call it 15, and the tarp is 24 feet. So we're talking 9 feet of overhang total. That's 4.5 feet on each side. So, I mean, it'll be pretty close to the tree. But it was the only size I could find, or it was the closest size I could find. So let's get it going. I don't know how that looked from your end, but I felt like that went on like butter. That was wonderful. I was so worried that I was going to have to get people out here to help me because that tarp is so heavy. But nope, went right up. And I still have to obviously put the guy lines on the tarp rainfly, but you can see it's resting on the tent ones. That is some nice looking overlook. Look at that. Perfect for wood. So that worked out pretty well. The objective had less to do with the wood and more to do with mildew and rot, because this past year in Maine was incredibly wet. It rained constantly. There were more mushrooms out here. You could not take a single step and not step on some kind of a mushroom. It was crazy. And unfortunately, oh, I think I did say earlier, I got a little bit of rot in the tent. And the mildew is a problem. I've sprayed it to kill it, but it's still ugly. And so ultimately, this is the only way to keep it dry in these kind of conditions. And basically, now that I've done this, I'm sure we're going to have like a drought for the next 5 years, because that's, you know, how it goes. But I'm going to get this tied off. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. And I think this might be the last project because I'm getting pooped. Well guys, I'm not gonna lie, that was an easier project than I was expecting it to be. Now my tent has a little hat, and it will keep it dry in the excess rain, in the torrential, non-stop, never-ending rain. And so this will be the little space. I'll get these leaves out of here. Got to get that stump out too. I ran out of gas. And then what I'm gonna do is lay like scrap metal roofing all along, so that when the water comes down from the hill from the snow melt, it goes underneath all of the logs and it doesn't rot them. There's a dry well in the center where the deepest point is, thanks mostly to my friend Mike, who can dig a lot better than I can. That thing's like 4 feet deep, probably about 3 feet wide. And so it allows all of the water coming down off the hill to go down and into the ground, and I'm sure back into the brook eventually, but without getting it trapped. Before, this whole area used to be flooded pretty much until like mid-August. It was crazy. It's super dry usually around here in like July time frame. So the fact that that was completely underwater until August was nuts, but not anymore. It's all taken care of. So overall, pretty good day. I guess I can show you. I don't know how well you'll be able to see because the lighting in here is pretty dark, but my stove here looks, here, let me turn on the light. 1 second. There we go, a little bit better. My stove here looks brand new. I'm very excited. I actually was going to get it going today to burn off the chemicals, because you do have to sort of cure the paint. But thing is, I knew that I was going to be putting the top on, and I didn't want to have to deal with a hot chimney. So, you know, at some point the projects sort of stack up. So I'm going to have to stick all the wood back in here because I don't want it to sit out. We've got huge rainstorms coming in. It's dry now, but I still don't want it getting soaking wet because it's going to be sideways like this. So in future rains, it'll get wet, but it's not going to be like pummeled. Right now it'll get pummeled, so I'll just dump that there. But that, I think, is going to be it. I'm going to move the wood in here. I'm going to put the tools away. I'm going to get my stuff packed up. And I think that's going to be my weekend. So I will say happy weekend to you, all of you now. And I'll see you not until after Thanksgiving, because I've got a bunch of things over the next couple of weeks. So I apologize. It'll be sometime after Thanksgiving.